Hey folks, Todd from Freedom Fighter Tactical. Welcome to the latest status of business and inventory update. Let's get started right now. Hey folks, Todd at Freedom Fighter Tactical. We perfect perfection on Benelli M1, M2, M3, and mainly the M4, in addition to the 1301. What little we do for that gun, we do try to make improvements to that gun as well, and we'll be growing into that more as time goes by. The 1301 is something that definitely interests me. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell so you're notified of future videos, and a thumbs up or a like would be awesome. And if you have any comments, leave them below. I love comments. I love responding to comments, thinking about what you guys have to say, so be sure to do that if you have a minute. Okay, so let's just get started on what's going on here at Freedom Fighter Tactical. I have talked about doing a lot more video content, and I was on a real roll there on Instagram and YouTube for about a week or 2 weeks, posting almost even daily content. And we've had all this back to school stuff going on in our house. One kid going to college for her 3rd year, and the other going to high school, and kind of wrapping up the summer and getting into the school year. So I've kind of had some disruption in that, but we're going to get started and get back to business. Black oversized bolt release buttons, to everybody's delight, those are back in stock. I've got a good number of them right now, but they are moving quick. They always do. So if you want a black oversized bolt release button, now's the time to get one. MP3 also, we're getting kind of low on those, surprisingly, and it will be a long time for restock because it's hard getting parts to make this part for you guys. In addition, the time it takes to get MP3 treatment is not overnight. So if you want an MP3 one, you need to get in while we've got them. Titanium 7-round magazine tubes. I got an email yesterday telling me they are off the machines. I'm going to be picking them up today or tomorrow. It'll take me about a week to get them out in UPS. They do cross the country for coating and back to me. That's about a 2-month time frame. So I'm thinking, late September, maybe October. I don't think it would be any past Halloween, but titanium tubes are finally off the machines. It's been a long year dealing with those, and they are going to be heading to coating any day now. In addition, I'm going to be picking up the Beretta, what I'm going to call the Shorty Followers. So we have Beretta 1301 Followers on the website. They are made to the specs that, at least dimensionally, they're made to the specs that the original Benelli 1301 Follower was made, which some people found to be a little too long, and they couldn't get the 7th shell to seat in the magazine tube, and so that's led to a lot of discussion on the internet. We do have that version on the site already. It doesn't affect everybody, but some people have trouble getting that 7th round in, so we have what's called the Shorty version coming very soon. They are now off the machines as well, and I'm going to be getting them to coating, and I would say within a week or 2, they should be on the website. And I forget what the precise measurement was that we took off of it, but I was working very closely with somebody in the field that has a few Beretta 1301s, is very tuned into the subject of the shells not fully seating if they're a little bit long. And he and I went back and forth and came to a conclusion on what size that follower needed to be in order to kind of be universally okay for the longer shells. So, and that's not for the 3-inch shells. This is for 2 3/4. So that Shorty version will be coming out within the next, I think, 2 weeks. Black trigger kits finally are off the machines. The hammer, the trigger, and the disconnector are off. I do need to get them to coating. That's going to happen sometime over the next week, and it'll take probably a week to get those back, and then I have to put them together. So we're looking at probably around the 1st week of September. Those should be dropping. Recoil tube assemblies. As you know, I spent a lot of time recently building recoil tube assemblies. Really ironing out how to put these things together. I've put them together for years, and I've probably, before a week or 2 ago, probably put together 20 or 30 of them over the course of 15 or 16 years, but I had never sat down and actually did, I think I did 60 in one day. My hands were bleeding, my hands were sore. I kind of learned the ins and outs of putting those things together and really cutting the time and the headache involved in doing those. So I've got recoil tube assemblies on the website for you. in pretty much every version available now. I am working on kits for every version available as we speak, and those should be dropping sometime soon as well. 70130, which is the hollow tube, is low in all versions. OEM 3 position, Freedom Fighter 1, 2, 3, and 6 position, all low. And the 70043, which are the assemblies, they're all low as well. A lot of you are waiting on flashlight mounts. We are expecting the final piece to come off the machines and be coated and delivered to me. I mean, it could be any day now. And then I have to start putting them together. I am going to set aside a number of them. I'm kind of putting together my NP3, my next shipment to coating. So I'm going to wait for those. What I've got going to coating are going to be the flashlight mounts, which includes the rail. So when you buy the flashlight mount from me, you're going to get the mount that fits on your gun. You're going to also get the 1913 Picatinny rail, and you're going to most likely get the Scout Pro interface, which is kind of one of those things that people have been clamoring for a long time. And it wasn't very clear that was even a thing back when it was a thing. Of course, when the inventory out there in the world dried up, all of a sudden everybody had to have one. So it kind of like the Urban ERT. When I got in contact with Matt at Urban ERT, he had about 4 different ways that you could hook this sling to a Benelli M4. And I said, you know what, instead of having 4 different options for the Urban ERT, just include all the options in a packet with the sling and I sell it as a kit. Ultimately, people are only going to use one option, but it gives them all 4 options and they can play around with it and have some fun with it and decide what works for them. A lot of the times we don't know what's going to work best for us until we try it out. So you get all 4 options. That also does another thing. It keeps me from spending my entire life on the telephone trying to explain to guys the 4 different options for their sling. Slings are highly personal. There's a lot of tinkering to dial it in the way we want it, and I didn't want the headache when we could sell the sling kit. I think it's like 60, 80 bucks, whatever it is, with all the connections, all the different ways you can do it in one kit. It just made sense. Same thing with this flashlight mount. Instead of having 4 different ways that you can buy it, you're going to get the flashlight mount and it's going to have everything you need. Whether you use the Picatinny rail or not, you know, you either do or you don't. Whether you use the Scout Pro interface or not, you either do or you don't. But it's going to come with it instead of piecemeal. And that's just the way I'm going to sell it. It's going to be a lot less headache for everybody. The result is you do end up with a couple things that you may not use, but you also may. I mean, as the years go by, you may be like, you know what, I like that Pro interface. I might put that on there and try it. So then you have it. So that's what we're going to be doing with that, and those should be dropping anytime. Collapsible stocks, I've got the first batch coming from one of my procedures on the 23rd, supposedly, so that's 10 days from now. And then those are going to coating, and I expect coating to be pretty quick, and then they go to laser marking, and I expect laser marking to be really quick too. So I'm thinking that if all the timelines go as planned, I mean, we're looking at the latest, should be mid-September for the first ever American-made collapsible stock piece. They are going to be coming with the I mean, it's going to be the whole thing. It's going to be the grip assembly. It's going to be the stock assembly. And I'm going to assemble them personally, and I'm going to make them to order. So you'll put your order in, and then I'll put it together. And I'm going to offer 2 options. I'll have 2 different sling mounts that you can choose from, and then I'll go ahead and install it so that when it arrives to you, it's all going to be put together and ready to go. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know I was putting together MP3 grip assemblies yesterday. I've got plenty of the black standard grip assemblies, and then when these stocks get to me, I'm going to send some to NP3. In fact, I think I'm getting 54 of those stocks done initially. I'll probably send 4 or 5 of those stocks to NP3 kind of as a trial run to see how they are. And then, if they're beautiful, there's going to be 5 people that are going to have an option to buy those when they first drop before I do more. Limbsaver butt pads. I'm working with Limbsaver. In fact, I owe them a little bit of work. I need to send them some information and some samples so that they can dial in what they're going to do. We're gonna be working on Limbsavers for the Freedom Fighter collapsible stock. They will not be available until sometime next year, I'm quite sure. So if you're buying a collapsible stock this year, it will not come with a Limbsaver butt pad. I will sell the Limbsaver butt pads individually, so if you already have a collapsible stock and you want a Limbsaver butt pad, you can pick that up and put that on your collapsible stock, and it should be universal with all of the American-made 700, I think it's 77, basically the 70085, which is the complete assembly with the pistol grip and the stock. You'll be able to stick that pad right on there. That's about it, folks, today. I'm working really hard. If you look behind me, I've got all these little bowls. I'm putting together QD mount setups, and I'm setting aside a bunch for NP3. Like I said, I've got both QD mounts going to NP3. I've got a handful of other items going to NP3. I've got, I'm, here on the 23rd, once I pick up those stocks, I'm going to send a number of those to NP3. And I mean, we're rocking and rolling here, trying to get out new stuff for you guys. We're going into the fall chaotic political season. There's a lot going on in the world, and you guys are, I mean, it's like pre-COVID. You guys are shopping and getting parts and fixing up your guns and getting them ready so that if you need to depend on them for any reason whatsoever, they're done. And you've got the parts that you need. And I highly advise doing that. I wouldn't advise waiting, because there will be a point here, probably, I would predict sometime in October, when things really start getting kind of silly. You guys are going to be blowing me up with orders, and things are going to sell out fast. So now's the time to get in on that. Folks, that's about it. That's about all I've got. Thank you, all of you out there serving our country in the armed forces. Greatly appreciate all of you risking life and limb, and you never know what's going to be going on in your life, and it's quite a sacrifice that you and your family make, and we appreciate it here at Freedom Fighter Tactical, and all the law enforcement out there, fire, medical, that are out there on the front lines in our country that's getting more dangerous by the minute, while your paychecks aren't getting bigger by the minute, and they're not adding, new men and women as quickly as they should because of all the nonsense going on in our world. Nobody wants to do the job anymore like they used to, and it's just a crying shame. But those of you out there that are doing that, and your families have to worry about whether you're coming home each day, greatly appreciate that lifestyle that you've chosen for us, the sacrifices that come with it. And, my thoughts and prayers are out there for each and every one of you, and the hopes that you do come home each day unharmed, ready to spend time with your family, and see your kids to bed if you've got them. If not, to get up the next day and do it again. Folks, thank you. You know where to find me. Phone number's on the website. You can call, text me there. You can email me through the website on the contact page, and you can text me through the chat blurb on the website. Please do not hesitate to check with me if you have any questions whatsoever. We will solve any issues you have with your understanding of what I sell on the website before the sale. Make sure you contact me if there's any confusion, any questions before the sale, because once you buy it, absent any manufacturer's defect, you own it, and we don't take it back. So be sure to reach out to me. I am happy to help you in any way. I answer the phone. I am available pretty much every day of the year. And if you don't get me, leave me a message. I will get back to you just as fast as I can. Thank you, folks. Take care. Be safe. And I'll talk to you in the next video.